All right, what's going on, crypto legends? I am really sorry for the delay, guys. I've been having some issues here connecting to the server during the last few minutes, but now finally connected. How is everybody doing? We're going to analyze all together the scenarios here for the price of Bitcoin. How is everybody doing? Make sure to absolutely destroy that like button on your way in, guys. Make sure to destroy the like button to share some love, share some support here for just pure education, technical analysis, levels to take into consideration on Bitcoin during the next coming hours and days. We're going to go through some different charts, of course, such as the dollar index. We're going to go through here some altcoins that I'm looking at, such as Chainlink, and more importantly, Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin here forming this large symmetrical triangle. Are we going to get an explosive breakout in the coming days? This is a higher time frame symmetrical triangle that we are forming on the 4-hourly time frame. So this could still be a few more days consolidating inside of here, but there is a bullish case scenario, of course. The bearish one, we're going to talk about the major levels, the major target zones, of course. Most importantly, focusing on the lower time frames, such as the 30-minute, the 15-minute, analyze the internal local situations. What could the price do? We did get a bit of volatility right now to the upside, to the downside. That is because we have had the GDP growth rate in the US. It's 1.3. Less than previous, so it's actually quite low. We got a bit of volatility going on, nothing too serious, just a little bit of movements up and down, nothing too serious. Guys, I'm going to go through the comment section. I'm really sorry for being a little bit late here. I've been having some connection issues, okay? But overall, we're going to go focus on the price of Bitcoin, of course, the first 10 to 15 minutes, analyzing those levels, the situations here, so make sure to pay full attention. Yesterday's scenarios, we talked about several scenarios that did not play out. Of course, we are going to go through them. There was the scenario of hitting the low. I didn't like this scenario too much, coming back down below $67,190, that low, and then get the rise. It was a scenario, but we were talking about other scenarios more internally here, which were basically forming a possible inverted head and shoulder. That did not play out. We did not hit that neckline, okay? We were talking yesterday inside of this consolidation. Let me just zoom in on the lower time frames because this was a lower time frame scenario. Basically zooming in right over here and analyzing this scenario right over here, which we were talking about yesterday. You know, it did look like that we could be seeing a potential inverted head and shoulder. Not the most beautiful one, but right over here doing this. this over here, and then looking for this consolidation to come back up right over here to the neckline. We just continued to the downside, and we ended up creating that swing failure pattern, right? Just a test of the lows and getting a pretty nice rise here, which was this scenario, okay? Because we talk about the bullish case scenario, but we also talk about a bearish case saying, you know, hey, what if the price does come down here again to this level and then gets a rise? Well, that is, you know, we haven't rised all the way up to 68,900, but we tested the low. The idea is testing that low that was created a few days ago and then getting a rise. So that is basically, you know, what happened. We came back down to this low and we created a pretty significant bounce. Now, the question is, what is going on with Bitcoin right now, and what are the most important levels to take into consideration? Are there any clear trading setups? For me, it's very confusing. I've been saying to the Legends trading community, this range right now is getting a little bit confusing for me. There's a lot of test the lows, test the highs, test the lows, back up, test the lows, getting into a very, very long range here. It does look like kind of a bit of a descending wedgie channel kind of structure. We're getting a little bit of a pump right now. It does look like we have some lower high resistance here more internally. This is looking at the 15-minute time frame, and we have, you know, a little bit of a wedgie descending channel formation. So something to take into consideration. We are hitting the resistance of lower highs at the moment. It looks like we want to have an attempt in breaking through the lower high structure. Now, what would be interesting, something that I was mentioned with the Legends trading community, is if we were to get a drop, okay? If we were to get a drop, the price might as well just start breaking through here to the upside. It could be the case. But most importantly, we did create another swing failure pattern today. This was no doubt another possible entry possibility, right, where you are testing the lows right over here. Okay, you do have that lows from Wednesday. Basically just tapping here, as you can see, again, just today, getting back beneath that low and creating a swing failure pattern. It is full of them, guys. When we do form these ranges, we just form, you get the deal, right? It's a liquidity game. We come down to the lows and then come back to the highs and then come back down to the lows and then bounce back up here. We claimed this lower high right over here, got rejection, got back down to these lows from yesterday evening, and then back up again. It looks like we want to hit those highs. We want to try and break those highs here from early this morning, right? We want to get back up to $68,400. So the question is, will we have a successful breakout? Right, we are just a couple of $100 away in hitting that high, and you can see inside of this range, well, this must be bullish, right? You might think to yourself, this has to be bullish. This does look like a descending wedgie structure, descending channel, and this is going to pop to the upside, and we're going to get an explosive move here in the next coming hours. Very, very important to analyze this pivot high right over here, because it's a liquidity game. We come and hit the highs and hit the lows. Look how we have been forming those highs and lows during the last few days, right? We can see it very clear. You got that clear pivot, lower high, bang, movement down, clear pivot low, movement up, movement down, back down to the lows, movement up. You're hitting this lower high, you're coming back down, you're hitting this low, and now you're coming up. So which is our next big major lower high? It is just right over here. We're just a few $100 away, and this is going to be the clear pivot that is going to give us that successful breakout or a big massive fake out, and we're rolling back down to the lows. It would be nice actually to hit that level and get a big major rejection, because do you know what that means? I don't mind really getting into a small swing day trade short, a day trade or a small swing trade, because it might be a couple of days, right? It might not hit this low today. But overall, if we were to get up there, right? Most of the people, wow, we're breaking above the lower high resistance. We are, breaking out of this wedgie channel-y structure that we formed during the last few days. This is extremely bullish. We are going to absolutely rocket here to the highs of the wedge. Definitely, it is possible, no doubt. If we were to get that successful breakout above this pivot, it will be looking extremely good. So if we do get that solid big breakout here, no doubt that this could be looking very, very good to come all the way up to these highs created here from yesterday at $68,900. However, this is still looking like it could get rejected, right? We just need to analyze that situation from that pivot zone. For me, it's the decision moment. It does look like we want to break it because we are getting those movements to the upside. We're going to see live here how we are going to react at that level, because that could give us a possible trading decision. Hitting that lower high and either breaking it successfully, it will be looking quite good for continuation to the upside to hit 68,900. And if we fail to break through it, get back inside of the wedge. All right, for me, it would be better even to get back inside of the wedge, or you could even have an attempt right there. We could possibly have a live attempt in shorting that level, only if it does get rejected. If the price action breaks through successfully, I am not interested in any short positions. I need to see that failed reaction, and this could be a fake out and you coming all the way back down to sweep up the lows of today beneath $67,150, right? You know the deal. It's claiming highs, claiming lows. We've been doing this during the last few days. We just need to be cautious because we have been consolidating now for the last few days inside of this range. So we might get a breakout. We might get a successful breakout. It is about time, right? Just after hitting highs and lows, it is the moment possibly for a pretty nice breakout. However, when we do analyze here this movement to the downside since the peak that we had in November on Monday at 70,700, we can see how this movement has been very one-wavy, right? We've had a big explosive move down, and then we've been forming this kind of wedgie structure. Could there be time in forming another low right there and then possibly get the significant rise? It's all about learning how to, check the reaction, because no doubt at this level, depending on what the price does in the next coming minutes, because it looks like that we want to have an attempt in hitting that level, okay? It's a very interesting level. It's a crucial point. It's a decision moment where the price either breaks through successfully or it does not break successfully. If it does not break successfully, then of course, we could be seeing the bulls getting exhausted at this level, not managing to break through. And that is when we want to possibly step in for a short. But we need to see the reaction. That is possibly going to happen in the next coming minutes during this live stream. So we need to remain patient. We want to see that exhaustion. We want to see the price hitting that $68,400 range, okay? The highs from yesterday or early this morning, early this morning actually. 5 o'clock in the morning. And if we fail through, then we could be looking for that leg down to sweep up the lows again from today. And then analyze the situation right over here. If we do not successfully move beneath the lows of today, well, the same scenario. We're looking for that recovery. This is holding, and then you're looking for the long position, and potentially this could bring you that swing trade, because this is already consolidating too much inside of this range. That is only if the price recovers back above today's lows. You're still forming that descending wedgie channel. And if you do get above today's lows, that is your long trigger. You have an invalidation point, and I would speculate on this one as a possible swing long position, because you could get that breakout in the coming days to sweep up all of these lower highs formed during the last 2 days, right? From yesterday, also from today. That is, we do get that big rejection from this zone. We are still hitting, we are hitting lower high resistance, right? So it is a resistance zone. Ideally, the perfect setup would be sweeping those highs of early this morning. That would be the ideal scenario, right? Sweeping that high, right? Bang, and then create that failed auction. That could be your short trigger. That means it's a fake out and you're coming all the way back down to the lows. Shorting right now, where we at is just having this lower high so close. I personally would not take the chance for sure. This is a lower high resistance trend line, but I want to see that liquidity grab, just like this high over here, right? Say that you're moving up here, you're getting rejected, and you short right there. It's not really the greatest level to short, having that lower high so close. The best plan would be waiting for that lower high to be hit and reject, and then you're looking for that corrective structure. So I'm going to remain a little bit patient. If it rejects from here and starts coming down, well, it is what it is. If you get into a short position here, the problem is your stop loss. Are you going to put your stop loss here above this high? Well, you are asking to get stopped out, right? You're asking for that wick and the possible either continuation breakout or the fake out, and you're getting stopped out and it ends up in a fake out. You're getting a lot of people longing the breakout, and then obviously the price action coming back down. So it's a decision moment, no doubt. It will be a decision moment. Let's see if we do get those highs hit in the coming minutes and analyze this range over here, because if it is successful, well, you know the deal. We could be actually breaking through very, very nicely. So hopefully we are going to hit it during the live stream, and we're going to check that reaction together, that crucial pivot lower high of this morning, to see if we are going to successfully break out. But this wedge does look like it is unfinished, right? It does look like we need to see a little bit of more scary volatility beneath $67,000, right? Which is the point of control from the entire range of March, April, and May. When we zoom out and analyze the fixed volume profile, which is this tool over here, okay, fixed volume profile, and we analyze March, April, and May, it looks like that we need to come down and get a bit of volatility back down to that level. And so people are going to be aware, as in, oh my goodness, this needs to hold. We need to get that volatility beneath it. Oh my goodness, this looks dangerous. If we lose that point of control, well, we know the deal, right? We could come all the way down to the value area low of the entire range of March, April, and May. Look what happened when we broke out the point of control here back at, in the second week of May, basically, right? We got the breakout. Where did we go? All the way up to the value area high of the range. That is where we tapped and got rejected. And this is what it means if we do break beneath the point of control successfully. So if we do get an aggressive move down, it could be looking very, very dangerous here. It could be looking at we could be looking at a several $1,000 move to the downside. It's going to be a decision moment, no doubt at all. Okay, let's zoom in here, because there is the long setups, right? There is the long, scary setups, right? When you're moving down at a low and it looks like it's going to break down, you don't want a long, right? You're like, oh my goodness, this is breaking down. I do not want to get into a long position. We could be getting a significant move down. However, you create many times that liquidity grab, right? You just create a swing failure pattern. You tap, you grab liquidity, and then you get a significant bounce all the way up to the last lower high in this case. So what if we do the same thing? We are, either we do claim that high and reject, or maybe we reject from here, or maybe we break out. But we're talking about this scenario right now. What if the price rolls down, either claiming this high or not? If we roll down from here, are you going to long at this level? I am not going to long at this level. I will be longing if the price does something like this, right? If we do get that sweep of the lows and we move back up again, that would be possibly my long trigger, depending on the price action. But I just want to see a recovery back up above the lows from today. Could it get aggressive? Let's talk about the major levels of support. I was talking about here with the Legends trading community, a very, very good possible level where we could get a reaction. I'm going to talk about that level right away in the next coming minutes, okay? We might just be bullish. We might just blast through from the lower high resistance and just get massive momentum to the upside. Don't get me wrong. I am a day trader. I have no positions open. There is a position that I'm open actually right now on Chainlink, because Chainlink for me is looking very, very bearish. We can do an analysis. I got into a swing failure pattern liquidity grab here on Chainlink, just at the $18.73 approximately, okay? And position is protected. I can explain that trading setup in just a few minutes with a bit of Elliott wave theory. But on Bitcoin right now, there's that small position that I'm in on Bitcoin here that already was, taking profits. Most of it's a, tiny position, but main position here is on Chainlink as a swing short position. I'll explain that right away. Guys, for anybody interested, Bybit right now has a competition going on, Trade Masters Grand Prix. You can join to win up to 1.5 million US dollar tether. Of course, this is a prize pool. It's not only one insane $1.5 million. It's an entire prize pool, and you can be the winner, of course, of a piece of the cake. Just to register, I have left the link down below in the description if you want to join this competition. Okay, you can see it's going to be here for 19 days. You have the link down below in the description, okay, to join that competition. If you cannot join Bybit to do any trading, you do have bluffing or MEXC. There are no KYC, know your customer, okay? And you can just sign up with an email and a password if you want to start trading some cryptos. Let's dive in through the comment section and then analyze this major level of support. We are hitting some resistance. We are just about to sweep up today's highs, which is sitting at $68,405. Will we manage to successfully break that level, or are we just going to form another lower high right there and come back down to today's lows and potentially get beneath $67,000? We need to understand that this trend that we've had during the last few days is to the downside, okay? So we just want to be cautious and realize which is our best trading levels. And the ideal trading level, apart from this long position here that I did miss this long position, but it would have been absolutely epic to get into this long position right over here. I did manage to long this position right there, this swing failure pattern, but I did not manage to long this one today. I was not in front of the charts and I missed it completely. So now the next scenario would be, looking at this possible day trade. I'm really interested in how the price action is going to basically move above today's highs. Will it successfully move high? Well, if it does, then I'll just enjoy looking at the movement to the upside. And if it does get a major reaction here, I think it would be a pretty good short to come back down to the lows. Okay, guys, that would be the ideal setup. That is the only kind of setup that I do see here available for more internally. Okay, we need to get that failed breakout above today's highs. And if we do get that failed breakout, the wick high is going to be our stop loss. And this is going to be our roundabout our entry to look at the price to come back down to the lows. And depending on how the price action reacts to the lows, and we do get a major wick to the downside and a recovery, that is going to be our next trading setup. Okay, well, not our ones. I'm going to be looking at my ones, but I'm just going to be sharing a little bit of the ideas. You get the wick to the downside, claim the liquidity, stop out a lot of people. And if we do get that recovery above the lows, then I would be looking at this as more as a swing long position. It might take a few more days, but I would be targeting kind of the top of the wedgie channel structure at least, right? Clear zone where the price needs to come back up if you sweep up the lows again. Okay, and that would be the kind of momentum. So short into a long till we actually break out of the range. We might be breaking out of the range in the next coming hours. So maybe this short position is not going to happen. Maybe we are not going to get this short position. Why? Because we might break through and not even reject from the highs, and it might just pop up here to come here to the highs of the wedge. So it's just a trading plan. That plan might happen. Okay, if we do get the rejection, if we break out successfully, then obviously we are looking at we're just enjoying the price action, having that momentum to the upside. Maybe there's a bunch of people saying that they are going to get into the long position because they do see this as a nice descending wedgie channel structure that is going to get that breakout right now, and they're just ready, getting their long positions in place, speculating that there is going to be a successful breakout. It's not going to be me though. Not going to be. I prefer rejections, okay? I'm not much of a breakout trader, even though if there is going to be high volume on this breakout from today's highs, which is the previous day value area high as well. When we do zoom in here and look at the previous day value area high, we did have an attempt in breaking out today. We failed miserably. We are just at that level right now. If we do get a nice pop with high volume, it's going to be looking pretty interesting for the price to actually, successfully move to higher levels in the next coming hours. Let's see what happens, guys. We're currently at the resistance. We are getting the reaction. It does look like we want to build up for that pop. Flacco, how are you doing? Thanks for joining the stream. Raf, yo, Andy, let's go. Good time to go live. Thanks, Andy. 𝗲𝗶𝘴𝗫 is pumping. 𝗲𝗶𝘴𝗫 is pumping. Yeah, we did get a major drop on that crypto. I am not sure if it's a rug pull or not. 𝗲𝗶𝘴𝗫 is pumping back here. It's a very volatile cryptocurrency. It was just launched a few days ago. It got a big major drop and now it's slowly picking up here. I have no idea about this project, okay? It's on the Solana blockchain, but make sure to do a little bit of research because, like I mentioned, maybe you got a bunch of people that, they do create coins and they have most of the supply and they're just getting ready for a lot of people to buy it. And you are the exit liquidity, right? They're hoping for a lot of people to buy up. And then they have a massive bag for the sell-off. So make sure to do a bit of research right there on 𝗲𝗶𝘴𝗫, basically, just to check out the tokenomics and see if not part of the team have more than 10%, right, of allocation of the token, because it's very important. It could be rug pull and they're just waiting for you to buy, and then they just create a massive sell-off. Okay, so make sure to do a little bit of research on that. Let's go continue here. Hello, Andy. Hello. Like button, a must. Thank you. Philip, thank you very much for the insane support, my brother. Much appreciated. Unemployment rates and Fed interest rates. We did have the GDP growth today, which is lower than expected. Well, I think, yeah, it was kind of what they were expecting, but it's 1.3% GDP growth rate. We have personal income tomorrow. Tomorrow, Friday, we do have a bit of news. 4:30 plus UTC, plus 4 UTC. So there's probably going to be a little bit of volatility during this news event as well. Let's continue here through the comment section. Roland, thanks for joining the stream, my man. Trap move on BTC, a trap move on BTC. No doubt that this is, oh my goodness, it does look very wedgy. We're going to talk about a bit of higher time frame scenarios here, looking at Elliott wave theory as well, right? I think we do know that this does have a chance in being a fourth wave, right? Anybody that is not aware of Elliott wave theory, this could definitely be a fourth wave creation. So far, it is longer than the second wave. Very classic for a fourth wave. It is usually longer, but shorter on the retracements. Second waves usually do retrace to around about the 618 or 78 Fibonacci. That is the most common. Sometimes they retrace to the 50%. But fourth wave usually retraces down to about the 50%, 382, 50% Fibonacci. Now, we have just about hit the 50% Fibonacci. It was a slight front run right there of the 50% Fibonacci here on the 23rd of May. So the question is right now, are we forming another wave here to the downside in a three-wave corrective structure? In a WXY or an ABC to finally hit that 50% Fibonacci and probably get a bit of choppiness down here. It is definitely possible. We do have the scenario here. We do have the scenario of we are inside of the fourth wave, and in the next coming days, between this week and next week, after the volatility to the downside, we're just going to smack out of it and come all the way up here to the highs of the third wave at $72,000. And very likely, if it's a fifth wave, come all the way up to the all-time highs, right? that is the speculation that there is right now. Of course, there is a bearish case scenario. There is a bearish case scenario. We'd have to zoom out slightly a little bit more on the 4-hourly time frame to explain that bearish case scenario. What if this movement to the upside is just a B wave, right? Not a B wave or an X wave, right? Where we have formed 3 waves moves to the upside, right? Right over here. WXY, it is definitely a possibility right over here. And then we're going to move down beneath $55,000 and then possibly get the move to the upside. Now, the whole main reason why this is possible is because we are still inside of the 4th wave. Looking at the macro, we're talking about the first wave creation here, created on November of 2022. Looking at this as a 1 wave, this in a 2nd wave in a flat, and this is still the 3rd wave right there, okay? And we are inside of the 4th wave, not the larger 4th wave, okay? Not the larger 4th wave. The 4th wave inside of the 3rd wave, right? Which is basically this right over here. And just as we get to the all-time high, we would be completing the 3rd wave, 3rd macro wave, and then get a corrective move during the next coming months before things get crazy into the end of the year or the beginning of 2025, right? This is a little bit of the scenarios. Then, of course, you do have the insane, massive, bearish case scenario on Elliott wave theory that as soon as we hit all-time high once more, we will be finishing the ABC structure here, as we have had 5 waves up in an A wave, 3 waves in a B wave, and we are busy here with the 4th wave inside of the C wave, and we're just going to create that last 5th wave here and top out and get into a massive multi-year bear market, right? I don't think this is the preferred scenario. I think it is the unlike scenario, as well as we do have massive adoption on Bitcoin, and yeah, we got Ethereum ETFs as well. There is big news on Ethereum ETF that I want to go through, but overall I think that bearish case scenario, it is unlikely. Andy, does a time fib show you the potential bottoms or tops of a move in terms of time? In terms of timing, does it show you the end or the tops of a potential move? Fibonacci time. Ideally, you want to see the timing as close as a 1-to-1, okay? A lot of the times, corrective waves are shorter or even longer than the wave up. So in the case, they could give you the possibility to recognize when the price is going to reverse. So in the case here of this movement to the upside, right, the 1st of May, where we created that low, if we do get Fibonacci time and we come all the way up to the highs here, what we can see is when the corrective move finished, right? Looking at Fibonacci time, right, from this impulsive move that we created from the 1st of May, bottoming out at the 56,600, and we topped out here at $65,400 range on the 6th of May, just after 5 days, right? So we had 5 days of an impulsive move. And how many days did we have as a corrective move? Where did it bottom? It bottomed out just about 4.5 days, right, after that move. This blue vertical line is the 1-to-1 extension, meaning it is the same timing from this movement up. When I get Fibonacci time from this low to this high, and I do put it on the chart, this blue vertical line is indicating me when it's going to be a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning that after crossing this line, it means that this is the same timing than the impulsive move. And that is basically here when you recognize that, okay, maybe this could be the end of this corrective structure. Sometimes it can extend to the 1.618 or even be as short as 3.8, okay? However, if a corrective move has been going down all the way to the 1-to-1 and it crosses that range, and with your analysis, either with Elliott wave theory or with there's a massive, value area low from an entire range sitting at this level, if you add confluence to that level, no doubt, when you're crossing a 1-to-1, you can definitely think that, this is probably the bottom, right? The probabilities are telling me that this could be the bottom as we're crossing a 1-to-1, okay? So, yeah, basically, it can help you to understand where the price could reverse, okay? Especially when you're crossing the 1-to-1 preferably. Is the US dollar strong today, says Carlos. Let's take a look at the dollar index right away. Why not? Shall we take a look at the dollar index, analyze what is... The dollar index is actually getting a pretty nice drop. This is good for the price of Bitcoin. This means that the price of Bitcoin could be getting a recovery. There's no instant correlation, very importantly, right? Just because the dollar index is dropping right now, it doesn't mean that the Bitcoin price needs to get a gigantic pump. There's no real instant correlation usually, okay? Usually there's no, not usually there's instant correlation. Let's keep it that way. But on higher time frames, the dollar index is still in a very aggressive bullish trend the entire year, the entire 2024, right? The entire year of 2024, the DXY is in a major uptrend. We are creating higher lows and higher highs since January. What would be great here would be losing this higher low support trend line and losing the point of control of the last 2 years. This is 2022 and 2023 price action of the dollar index. The point of control is no doubt a crucial pivot point where we have seen resistance here in the past, and losing that level with this trend line would be very, very good to get a much larger corrective move here on the dollar index, giving the price of Bitcoin that steam to go to higher levels in the coming weeks. But we need to lose that level. Losing this point of control and higher low support trend would be the ideal scenario to be bullish for Bitcoin in the next coming weeks. So that is a little bit of the higher time frame, easy explanation here on the dollar index where we at. Your analysis gives my trading sense of calm. Thank you, Andy. Watch and listen. Yay. Thank you very much for those kind words. Trading can be extremely difficult, especially for beginners. For me, it is not difficult. It comes either more boring. Trading is boring, guys. Trading is extremely boring, because what you do basically when you're analyzing the market and you're trading, if you're day trading like myself and looking for these internal opportunities, is you basically wait for some certain levels to be hit, and that is it. I know a lot of the times you want to think that, oh my goodness, what should I do right now? What should I do right now where, with the price of Bitcoin where it is? Well, for me right now, I am not going to do anything. I need to see that attempt of breaking out from this high. This is my trading plan level. Today's highs. This is my trading plan level. Depending on the price action, if it does break through above it, then if we are maintaining above the level, I am just going to enjoy seeing the price action, what it's going to do if it is going to manage to come up to the next lower high over here. Now, hey, we talked about this level, but what if the price does move up here? Would this be a good level to actually look for a swing failure pattern? Maybe it's going to be a liquidity grab from this lower high and it's going to get a decent corrective move to this zone. It is definitely possible. Now, I wish I would have longed this position, okay? Because you might think you're only looking for short positions. No, I have been longing during the last few days as well. I totally missed this long position of today because this was actually a swing failure pattern from yesterday's lows, which was absolutely golden, guys. This was a great long opportunity, which is really at take profit zone right now where we at here, just looking for that breakout. Looks like we're going to break out now in the next coming minutes, guys. Next coming seconds. It looks like we want to get that volatile move. Let's see if we do get a successful breakout or we get a big fat rejection from that lower high. Let's see what happens right now. We're going to be monitoring the price of Bitcoin right now as we speak, guys, because it would be nice to sweep up those highs. But anyway, the question is, what if we do break out successfully and we move to higher levels? which would be our next trading plan. Well, let's analyze this zone over here. Let's get a fixed volume profile from the entire range of, you know, the last 10 days, right? Since we've formed this little range over here. We've got the point of, the fixed volume profile is not giving us much as levels. We're not getting much levels here on the fixed volume profile of this range. The point of control is all the way down here. So we haven't got really much. It's a bit empty over here. Would have been nice to see an extremely high volume node. Let's get the volume profile here and analyze a little bit some levels. We do have a little bit of a high volume node here, which is slightly above these highs created yesterday. It's a little bit of a dangerous zone, no doubt. Dangerous zone to get into a short. Let's take a look at if we do have some daily levels there. Let me just go here. There is an untapped daily level, which is quite far away up from these lower highs. Let's take a look at Fibonacci from this pivot high from Monday at 70,700 to the pivot low of today. The 618 Fibonacci is exactly where we have that daily level. No doubt it is a rejection point. I like it. There is enough confluence when you add a daily level with a 618 Fibonacci. It's enough confluence to get a rejection. However, I would just take this as a potential scalp and I would trade it as a swing failure pattern. Let me get the volume profile out of the way and zoom in. We got an untapped daily level here. We got that untapped daily level with the 618 Fibonacci. So just imagine that the price suddenly breaks through here, not creating any swing failure pattern, no nothing, no rejections from these lower highs. You're basically breaking the wedge and you're just rocketing, right? You're getting a major move with no rejections. We are only interested in a short position if we reject at certain pivots. If we do not reject at certain pivots, we do not take any short positions. You will never see me getting burnt on a trying to short a major uptrend and adding to the position, expecting that it's going to reverse soon. This is a common thing that a lot of new traders do, right? They basically add to their position and they're hoping for a price reversal till they get into a massive big position and they're in massive P&L loss. And they're just hoping and hoping for a reversal, and the price just absolutely rockets, and it's just getting you burnt. We need to see reactions. We need to have clear invalidation points. I get stopped out many times, guys. Many times. If I count the stop losses that I get in, during the week, there are many, but they're very small. And based on the rejections, I have invalidation points, especially on swing failure patterns, right? You need to get the rejections from the highs. Just say that you would have got into this long position and my goodness, it would have been a great long. You're managing risk extremely well. You're long in right over here. Your stop loss is at the low. And look at the risk to reward. The risk to reward is massive. The risk to reward is massive. Say that you do get rejected from this point. You can take it as a swing failure pattern. You just for a clear example, and we want to be cautious because this could be a successful breakout and it might end up in a stop loss, but it's how we need to play the game. Just manage risk very well. If you do get that clear rejection and you are aiming for the lows, here. So you get stopped out. If this rejects and gets a bounce, gets supported from lower high trend line, for example, and it gets a bounce, you get stopped out. But just say that this is $10. This right over here is $10, right? And you lose $10. If this were to come down to profit, it is going to be $40, right? Take it this way. Take it like that. I know a lot of people do not manage risk very well. I got a very I'm not going to say anything about it, but I do get DMs of people really burning their accounts and losing their life savings, guys. It's absolutely crazy. People get into the game of trading expecting they're going to make massive gains in a short period of time, and they take very bad decisions. They accumulate insane positions right? Adding to the position and stuff like that, guys. Do not do that. Seriously, do not do that, because there will be a moment that you're going to get burnt. I get dozens of DMs with people saying, hey, can you help? I've created this mistake. I've been doing this kind of trading, not managing risk very well. And I'm thinking, wow, it's just, it's the story of every trader at the beginning. I have also burnt many accounts in the beginning of my trading career. And now I get stopped out. Now it's impossible to have a 100% win rate. Now you get stopped out, but you get stopped out with small losses. So anyway, just a little tip there, guys. We need to have clear plans and clear invalidations. The main reason why I'm not really a swing trader, I might have a trade open, a small position open, and just leave it if I do get a great entry and I've taken most of the profits at certain levels of resistance in a day trade, right? Just like this one, you get into the long, you come up to the highs, I've taken 80% of the profits or 70 or 90%, and I'll leave this position open with, basically protected. It comes back down, it stops you out. It doesn't matter, I've taken profits. But the main reason now that I'm not much of a swing trader, I don't analyze carefully the higher time frames. Well, I mean, this would be a epic swing long trade. All right, let's go back here to this. This would be an epic swing long trade. If this zone does hold, if we do get one more leg down beneath $67,000, maybe even get down below $66,000, and we're forming a three-wave corrective structure right there, we are very much aware of the bullish case scenario. This being a one wave, a two wave, a three wave, the fourth wave, you're moving up here, possibly to all-time highs in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Definitely a scenario here. Definitely a swing trade scenario. But if you're swing trading, you want to try and, get in at the lowest level possible, or even wait for this low to be taken. And the situation here is your stop loss. Supposedly, if this were to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you should not overlap the first wave, right? Which would be here at $66,500. So this is your invalidation point. The moment the price comes down here, for any of those swing traders, and I wouldn't be, I'm happy day trading myself, but this would be a swing trade long position. You would have to put your stop loss, give or take a little bit of room beneath that pivot low. If you get a consolidation here in between $67,000 and $66,000, that would be the ideal. Getting a consolidation, the price is holding, and you're not catching a falling knife. Basically, I do not want people to catch falling knives. If you move down here and you start dancing around, then that there's a good chance that this might hold. If you're looking for that swing trade, obviously you're looking for the highs here above $72,000, or even all-time high if you're counting this as a fifth wave formation. So no doubt that this would be a good swing long position. All right, getting in at the lowest level possibles. But yeah, there's a lot of people that get the swing trading wrong, where they enter an epic long position and they have buy limit orders right over here very aggressively, just so they all get filled, expecting that swing failure pattern, expecting that the price is going to recover, and then you just have the price just filling all of those buy orders and then just getting a big massive move down. And this is where people get wrecked, right? When you get these large moves to the downside where people are just, oh, this looks pretty good. This does look like a descending channel right over here. It looks like that we are getting, look at this. This could be the best explanation that I could give you right now, right? That you're forming look at this. It's just a classic trap right there. You got a descending channel wedgie structure. Look at the breakout from this lower high resistance. Whoever's long in here is in trouble. Whoever's long in the breakout of this descending wedgie channel structure is in big trouble if you're long in this breakout, because wherever you have your stop loss, which should be, maximum inside of the channel, because if you get back inside of the channel, you know that you're doomed, that you're probably going to come down to the low of the channel. And if you break down the channel, then if you haven't got your stop loss in place, recognizing that this has been a fake out, and you're just thinking, oh, it's going to reverse soon. This was just the first, possible attempt of the breakout. I'm going to add to my position. You're getting wrecked. You're getting absolutely wrecked with this movement down. This is a big no-no. Big no-no. If you're getting into a breakout trade, your stop loss needs to be beneath the trend line, at maximum. So when I talked about this scenario over here, this might be a fake out to the upside. We just need to be a little bit cautious, a little bit careful. And the best thing that you can do is just wait for that fake out. Wait for the fake out to reject, right? Wait for the price. Let it do what it needs to do. I'm not a fan of getting into breakouts, okay? I'm not a fan in getting into breakouts. Main reason why is like the one that I've just explained right over here. You got a beautiful descending channel structure. Oh my goodness, this is bullish. Look at this, right? This is impulsive. This is corrective. This is game on, guys. We're breaking out. Let's all long together and get absolutely wrecked. Only wrecked if you haven't placed your stop loss in place. So look what happened with this lower high right over here. Okay, this was back on, the last week of April when we were trading at $64,400. Look how you hit that lower high and you reject from it. Look how epic this short position is to come all the way down to the lows, right? You think this is a wedgie breakout. This is absolutely wonderful. You're getting people longing the breakout. You're getting people longing the breakout very aggressively. And this is a great level to get into a swing failure pattern short position. You just get into the trade as you reject from that high. You put your stop loss above the high and you're aiming for the lows. To be honest, I would have taken most of my profits here. Would I have ridden all of this way down? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say no. I would have taken most of my profits here. I would have ridden down 20% of the position saying, okay, well, that's an extra bonus. But I wouldn't have taken this trade expecting this move down. So this is why I come with the idea of this setup, whether it plays out or not, guys, because it really doesn't matter. When it plays out, it pays off. Just like the trading setup that I mentioned 2 days ago on the stream, right? Where we were talking about this liquidity grab from this low. And we got the epic bounce. And we came all the way up to the highs. This was a trading setup that we mentioned just a few days ago, right? On a live stream. Where you're entering here on the recovery, stop loss at the low, and you're looking for the highs to be taken. Those highs were taken to perfection. You get out there. You get out. The risk to reward is great. It's over a 3-to-1 risk to reward. Absolutely wonderful. If we were to get this, this is why this is a setup, guys. This is a setup. You get the breakout of this channel-y wedgie structure and you fake out from those highs. But we need to see the fake out, right? Because I know there's going to be a lot of people watching that are not experienced. I'm going to go through the comment section, guys. I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention here to the comments, but I'm just doing a little bit of education. You get a lot of people that, I'm talking about this short setup, and this might break through it. It might rip. It might just rip. This is a zone not to short. If you're going to see me tomorrow in a short position, do you know where you're going to see me in a short position? But below these lows, after the possible rejection. So only if we do this, that is the zone where I'm going to short with stop loss at the highs. And if it comes all the way down here to this zone, absolutely epic. That is the risk to reward that I am looking at. Very, very important to note that above the highs of today, I am not going to get into a short position. I will not short, if price action is here. Okay? Only if price action gets back beneath the level. And I can manage risk very, very well. And you got an epic short down to the lows again. This is very, very similar to this, right? Very, very similar to this. Just so you get the idea. So let me go through the comment section. Just a little bit of, some trading tips. This could be an actual trading setup that happens in the next coming hours. We're just going to have to monitor the price action. It might just blast through. Don't feel left out because you didn't get into the long position. The best long position here today was the swing failure pattern from the lows. It was the liquidity grab from yesterday's lows. This was the long position, okay? Longing right now is, it is dangerous. It is dangerous. It might play out nicely. It might not play out nicely. You are longing into a resistance downtrend of the last few days. You need to know that there is certain risk if you do long here. You can, if you are attempting a long, if you want to manage risk, what can I say? This would be a long that I would never take, but you just need to have very good risk management. If you're expecting a breakout and you want to jump into a long, predicting that you might break out, you just need to manage risk with your stop loss. Don't get into a long position and have limit buy orders here, because it's just going to fill, and this might just get you underwater big time. So you need to have a stop loss. Okay, I'm going to say it's an acceptable long position. It's not the most beautiful long position that I would get into, no doubt. No doubt, because you're hitting resistance. It's just a very risky long position, at least to hit these highs, right? If you break out and you reject, then you just protect position, and if it just comes down and stops you out at break even, then okay, that's all right. But it's not the greatest long. It's not a long position that I would enter anyway. Great TA, Andy. I like this style of live stream. Less distractions. Jonathan, thank you very much for that kind comment. A little bit of education, guys, right? And a few examples and just understanding. I'm not here to be right or wrong. I'm here to explain the risk management, right? Where we could see the possible movements internally and how you can manage risk, how you can basically manage your capital correctly, right, from your trading account. Because I did get a DM, and I'm not going to show it, of course. It's completely private, but I did get a DM today that really hit me very strongly from someone that basically burnt even life savings, okay, a significant amount of capital. And for me, it's very sad to see this. So most importantly, we need to create those plans. It doesn't matter if we are right or if we are wrong, okay? We need to manage our risk when we are wrong. I am wrong many times, guys. Many times I'm wrong. But when I'm wrong, I know how to manage risk. And that is what we all need to do, okay? We need to manage our risk when we are wrong. Love the education, says watch and listen. Thank you very much. S&P breaks down. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. What is the dollar index doing? Dollar index is kind of moving down, and we also got, the S&P going down. So there's not an instant correlation, as we know. I would love to do a little bit of analysis on Chainlink just to explain the main reason why I'm in a swing short position, which is very strange for me to get into a possible swing short position. I'm protected. We got a smaller SFP. If I do have time right now, I just want to explain the reason why this range I think is pretty good for a short position to come back down to $13-12 potentially in the coming weeks on Chainlink. It has to do with Elliott wave theory, and it has to do with the market structure break with this movement down that we had in April. So if I do have some time now in the next couple of minutes, I would love to explain the main reason why I'm looking for this swing short position on Chainlink, which is, it's pretty strange because Chainlink is one of my biggest holdings of my portfolio. But I really want to explain a little bit in detail why I think Chainlink could form a lower high here. So let's go. By the way, do you know how to disable notifications on 𝗖𝗆? All those promotions pop up every time I log in. Yeah, I know it happens to me as well. I do not know how to get those notifications out. I know what you mean. Once you want to go to the trading interface, some notifications pop on 𝗖𝗆. I've been trying to get them off, but they pop every single time. Guys, if you are interested, you know the deal. There's down below the best bonuses available for Bybit, also for 𝗬𝗫 and also for 𝗕𝗏𝗫. 𝗬𝗫 and 𝗕𝗏𝗫, they do have no KYC, so just with an email and a password, you can start trading in minutes, okay? 𝗕𝗏𝗫 and 𝗬𝗫, no KYC. If you can trade on Bybit, they do have a pretty cool competition going on, which you can register with the link down below. They have $1.5 million Tether prize pool. Easy to just click on registration when you sign up with the link in the description, okay? They got great bonuses. You can even, I think you can win a ticket to the Formula One. There's some really, really nice perks here on this competition. If you're trading anyway, why not just get into the competition? You might get a really, really good prize. Let's go right. I want to go through Chainlink, guys. If you do give me a second, I want to go through Chainlink and just explain the main reason why I got into this short position. If you do allow me, okay, before I go through the comment section. It has to do a little bit with higher time frame analysis. All right, when you do come down here to the daily chart and you analyze this major consolidation, clear accumulation zone, and you get to the low of the bear market for Chainlink, which was in June of 2023. You know, looking at basic Elliott wave theory, I did see this as a possible 5-wave move here to the upside. And what is happening right now, which is very, very complex, is we inside of a B wave structure, okay, and a corrective structure, and we're inside of the B wave. So B waves can be very complex. You can get all the way up to the 5th wave, right? You can come all the way up here to the start of the A wave for a possible flat scenario. But you could also, a regular B wave likes to go round about to the 618, you know, 78, even the 0.88 Fibonacci, right? Most commonly in between 50% and 7.8 Fibonacci. Where we at right now is a very, very interesting area for me. It's very, very interesting. We did create a small little swing failure pattern from this clear pivot lower high, right? And if I'm speculating that this is a corrective structure, we just came all the way up to this clear lower high. The next clear lower high would be this one, obviously, right? You can see it. That's a clear liquidity grab right there for a potential short. And this one currently is the one that's getting rejected. Now, when we do take a look here at Fibonacci retracement from the pivot high to the pivot low, we can see that we are at the 61865 Fibonacci, okay? A good reason to look for this swing failure pattern, 618. It is a rejection point. I think it could be a pretty good swing trade. When you do take a look at this 5-wave move to the upside, you can see clearly how you have formed a lower low during the last few weeks. You have created a lower low, breaking a little bit of the uptrend structure, meaning that you have a high chance of creating a lower high at this point to come back down to those lows, okay? So I'm kind of speculating in a rollover here as a swing trade. I'm going to be very, very defensive, but that is the main reason why, guys. We are forming a little bit of a wedgie structure right now. You can see it's very, very wedgy, as you can see. You got an ascending wedge here that does look like it wants to break down. So obviously speculating here on the swing failure pattern of this lower high right there. It's getting very, very choppy, possibly looking for a larger corrective move, guys. That is the main reason why. Let's continue. It just SFP'd. What did SFP? What did SFP? The price of Bitcoin. No, it did not manage to go all the way up to that high, unfortunately. It did not manage to hit that high. Maybe on some exchanges it did. It would have been nice to come all the way up to this high, to be honest, for that failed breakout. You know, potentially in the next coming hours it will, guys. Or it might successfully move up, all right? It might not SFP from that high. Or it might roll down. Ideal trading setup would be this. Then you're in the short trade. That is the fake out. Then you're coming back down to the lows. What has been happening the last several days, right? Sweep the lows, major pump. Sweep the highs, major dump. Sweep the lows again, major pump. Sweep this lower high right there, major dump. Sweep the lows again just by a few dollars, major pump. Sweep this lower high with lower high resistance trend line with a fake out, major drop back down to the lows. That would be the ideal scenario for the trade. Shorting right now or longing is With this lower high right there, it would be nice for it to be taken, to be honest. Right. I can tell you really understands trading. Just good analysis, but good trading and risk management. Thank you very much, Divin Hood. Very much appreciate those kind words. Great TA as always, Andy. Thanks a lot. Peter, you're very welcome. Just pure education here and giving a little bit of good alpha and an education. 100, love the education, says watch and listen. Thank you very much. So yeah, Andy. Andy, you're the best guy here. DXY breakout and S&P breakdown. BTC bearish. What do you think? Yeah, this is it does look a little bit disturbing. I'm going to talk about a long setup here that is very much a good setup. Okay, I do like the setup. I think you should. It's an interesting level. Okay, let's leave it that way. It's a very interesting level. When we do connect these lower lows and these lower highs where we're getting resistance currently, we might reject from this level. I prefer to speculate in a short position here than a long, to be honest. I just see this wedgie structure kind of not completed, right? Would be nice to get that move down, and this would be an interesting zone for a long. This is an interesting level for a short. However, I want the sweep of the highs. Come on, get that fake out Bitcoin so I can get into the short position and have an invalidation point above the wick high. Then I can aim for the lows. On the other side, if we were to, it might break out successfully, right? Let's just leave it that way. But if we do roll down from this point, there is an interesting disturbing zone here, which is the 0.88 Fibonacci from this pivot low. Okay, on the 23rd of May to the pivot high here of the 27th of May. The 0.88, sorry, the 0.88 Fibonacci is sitting at $66,650. That is where we do have a lower high right there from Friday, the 24th of May. It is this. I love it when a 0.88 Fibonacci is with a lower high or a higher low in this case. And especially when you're forming a little bit of a wedgie descending structure, right? Descending channel wedgie structure. When you connect the lower lows, if we were to come down in between today and tomorrow, say that we get a fake out and we roll down, I think this is definitely a bouncing zone. Will that bounce be epic or not? I don't know. It might be a bounce just of $300-400, or it might be an epic bounce in the next coming days of several $1,000s. But I just see the possibility of, it's going to bounce very likely at this level, $66,650. You got the 0.88 Fibonacci, classic level. It's very well respected, especially in Bitcoin, the 0.88, at least for a quick bounce or a quick rejection, depending on where you're taking a look at the fib level. From this, from this rise, the 0.88, it's exactly where we have a lower high, so it's perfect for a liquidity grab, and it's also in confluence, right, with the lower low support trend line. When you do connect these lower lows right over here, and you are forming lower highs, you could be forming this descending wedgie structure right there, and it's just a great level for a quick bounce. The price might just be breaking through, so we might not come down there. So if it does break through, the next major level of interest for me on higher timeframes is that daily level where we do have exactly the 618 Fibonacci. That is a great level for a quick short scalp day trade. Nice confluence. Daily level with the 618 is sitting at the $69,430. Really, really nice zone to get a quick rejection, okay? Pay attention just in case the price gets very, very punchy and very explosive. This is a zone, no doubt, for a nice little pullback. Legends, thank you very much. I need to give out a shout out to the K app because I have right now the debit card, guys. This is where I can spend my cryptocurrency. You do have the link down below in the description. It has to be the easiest and one of the cheapest out there so you can buy and sell your crypto. It's the best on-off ramp, okay, for crypto fiat, especially if you are in the European Union, guys, okay? Most importantly, you need to be in the European Union so you can claim here your debit card. You can claim it right away. If you check their Twitter account, the 𝗕𝗏 debit card is officially live. You can use your crypto profits and spend it. You can even withdraw from ATMs. It's absolutely great, guys. I've got mine right over here. It is working perfectly. Download the app, guys. You got it down below. Claim your debit card if you are in the European Union and start spending your cryptocurrency. Thank you very much for joining, everybody. Hopefully you're going to have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.